Elon Musk admits, or rather accuses, that Twitter interfered in an election or elections. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. Elon Musk struck the most brutal blow yet against the woke leftist establishment yesterday. He flatly accused Twitter's old management of interfering in the election of 2020. In fact, he accused the old team of interfering in elections, plural. We deal here not with manipulation of votes cast, because as far as I know, Twitter never shared any software engineering teams with Dominion Voting Services or with the Electronic Registration Information Center. Rather, we're talking about the withholding of information necessary to an intelligent vote. When he said that, Musk signaled yet again his willingness, indeed desire, to make Twitter a reliable, unbiased conduit of information. He simply will not permit the kind of skewing of information that prevailed under the Jack Dorsey and Parag Agrawal regime. Before we get into his sensational accusation and many other accusations against Twitter's old management, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, including this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which reads, "Freedom isn't free." And it isn't. The price, as Thomas Jefferson said, is eternal vigilance. One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click on that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. Reportage on the election interference accusation comes from Zero Hedge and the Post-Millennial. The latter organ has 3 relevant articles about the admission, or rather accusation, by Musk about election interference by Twitter, the accusation by Steve Bannon that the former trust and safety officer at Twitter knew exactly what he was doing, and the latest threat by the European Union to block Twitter from client computers on the European continent. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is no longer a member of the European Union. That's why I said continent. Reuters started it 2 days ago, rather. They tweeted their article about their interview with Yoel Roth, the last trust and safety officer before Elon fired him. I have a link in the description to their tweet and to an interview by Swisher with Yoel Roth. Now, Roth, in fact, took an active role in suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story, even to locking the Twitter account of the New York Post. Now, he denies taking such a role, and I'll get to someone calling him out on that later, and also says that that had been a mistake, though he defended the suspension of the account of then-President Donald J. Trump. That suspension is since revoked. Well, a blogger goes by the name Ava Fox angrily replied that Twitter had not been safe for 10 years. I have a link in the description to her tweet, and to Elon Musk's tweet in reply to her. In it, he not only seconded her statement, but added that the election interference accusation. And that accusation has hit the Twitter user community like a thunderclap. Nor were Elon or Ava Fox the only accusers of Roth yesterday. I have links in the description to 4 other tweets from 4 different people. First, a user named Rita Panayi says that this same Yoel Roth didn't get rid of the off-color photographs of children on the site. And all I want to say about that later. Next, Dr. Jonathan Sarfati, former chess champion and a scientist, tweeted a collage of 4 screen caps of old tweets on Yoel Roth's account that I believe Roth has since deleted. At least I tried searching for them without result. So, Mr. Roth, if you can hear me, I'm going to tell you what those old tweets of yours said. And if you care to dispute what I say about them, leave a comment. First up, on November 8th, 2016, you said, and I quote, "I'm just saying we fly over those states that voted for a racist tangerine for a reason," close quote. Next, on another occasion, though the photograph cropped away the date and time, you said, and again I quote, "Today on Meet the Press we're speaking with Joseph Goebbels about the first 100 days, ... what I hear whenever Kellyanne is on a news show," close quote. I gather you meant Kellyanne Conway. On still another occasion, you said, quote, "Yes, that person in the pink hat is clearly a bigger threat to your brand of feminism than," and here you switch to all capitals, "actual National Socialists in the White House," close all caps, close quote. Mr. Roth, I have to ask, have you no sense of irony? How could a businessman and a capitalist be a National Socialist? National, I will grant, though I get that that's a dirty word in your lexicon, but socialist? Never. Last tweet on July 27, 2017, you said, quote, "How does a personality-free bag of fat like Mitch McConnell actually win elections?" Close quote. Well, all right. I'll give you Mitch McConnell lacking in personality and certainly in courage, but did you mean to accuse him of manipulating elections of United States senators in 2016? I thought you didn't like people who question election integrity. So much for Yoel Roth. Next, Nick Jones tweeted a photograph of an issue of the New York Post dated May 28, 2020 with a picture of Yoel Roth and this headline, "Meet one of Twitter's neutral fact-checkers meant to police Trump, Ministry of Tweet." And it has two of those tweets that I just shared from Roth. The one about flyover country and the one trying to make Trump out to be a National Socialist. And last, and possibly most deeply cutting, we have a user named Vi saying, and I need to paraphrase here, "Not super interested in what the guy who didn't deal with the child off-color photo material and instead focused on censoring anything that didn't fit his narrow political viewpoint has to say. For that team's failure on this subject alone, this man should be a pariah." End of paraphrase. And while I'm on the subject, another user pointed out that the new management acted swiftly to remove that material in question from Twitter and remove it within a week. I have a link to the description of that tweet also. Not only did he say that the new management had that material off, and that fast, but also he called out Roth for not removing the material a long time ago when it was his job. Now, others, notably Andrew Torba, have talked about this sort of thing before. And you know what? Any kind of off-color photos, especially anything of that kind involving children, is in direct violation of the Twitter rules, and it always has been. Its very presence was arguably the worst example of selective application of the rules. In fact, I'm not going to argue the point. As bad as the selective muzzling of conservative voices was, to let that kind of smut stand on the site is an order of magnitude worse. Thankfully, you will not find that on Twitter any longer. That aside, the next link I have in the description is one that expresses my sentiments better than anything else ever could. A user calling himself Ben Politically Maroon says, quote, "I'll take dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery," close quote. Ben, you're a man after my own heart. If I didn't know any better, I'd have thought Patrick Henry came back from the dead to write that. Yeah, you must know your Patrick Henry. Next, I'm going to get to Roth saying he had nothing to do with locking the New York Post account and someone calling him out on it. But first, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You're not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of others members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com. Learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Now, I told you before, somebody called Roth out on that particular matter, and that was Steve Bannon. I mean, he excoriated Roth, called him a liar about that Hunter Biden laptop business. He said, quote, Twitter knew full well that the laptop was real, actionable information. They knew it was real, and Twitter executives suppressed it, close quote. Elon has promised to publish certain documents that detail the discussion and decision to lock the New York Post account. I have a link in the description to his tweet promising precisely that. To add fuel to that particular fire, even the legacy media now admit that the Hunter Biden laptop was real. Had the American people known about that, perhaps Donald Trump would be president today. Or might not, given the allegations against certain state and local election officials in 7 key states. Now, as I've already said, the European Union has threatened to block Twitter from client computers on the continent of Europe. The Financial Times carries the details. I have a link in the description to their tweet carrying a link to their article. Apparently, Musk had a video call with EU Commissioner of Digital Services Thierry Breton. Commissioner Breton spoke of an arbitrary approach to reinstating banned users and insisted on aggressive moderation and even an extensive independent audit of Twitter within a year. In fact, the Twitter rules have not changed, except for Musk revoking the misinformation policy concerning the virus that shall remain nameless. The selective application of the rules has changed. I wonder, did Commissioner Breton even read the Twitter rules before sounding off? I don't think he did. Furthermore, European continental users account for a very small portion of Twitter's accounts. The overwhelming bulk of account holders are United States citizens and residents. Besides which, technically savvy sources have told me that any European user can easily access Twitter, block or no block, through a virtual private network. Laying that aside, the European Union seems to be demanding that Twitter continue the election interference that characterized old management behavior. In other words, Commissioner Breton wants Twitter to go back to being a state actor. To obey such an order, that might constitute levying war against the United States. That's one of the two definitions of treason. Now, surely Musk knows this, as he also knows that he would have precious little business to lose to any ban. Reaction to Elon Musk's tweet about election interference runs 50-50 pro and con. This represents an improvement on 2 counts. First, before Elon bought the company, the moderators might have suspended his account just for saying that. Second, the 50% pro replies largely represent conservatives who joined the platform recently. Musk has noted phenomenal growth in the user community lately. This growth largely follows the reinstatement of Donald Trump's account. As I noted 2 days ago, Andrew Torba's prediction that Twitter would lose all its users if Musk bought it has failed. Again, Twitter is addictive, so the fragile worldview of leftist users manifests itself in logical fallacies, but not actual leave-taking. The world is still waiting for the release of the Twitter files Musk promised. they will likely tell many tales of election interference. Again, by withholding of information. And furthermore, by merely mentioning it, Musk signals that he will not allow it in future. I'm going to close with an update. Apple has backed down on its threat to disallow Twitter from the App Store, according to the post-millennial. Elon Musk himself tweeted this assurance to the user community. I have a link in the description to Elon paraphrasing Apple CEO Tim Cook, saying his company never considered such a disallowance. Well, at least one user suggests that Musk should proceed anyway with his plans for a new smartphone, with its own operating system and application program interface. I have a link in the description to that too. And by the way, I hear that Andrew Torba interpreted Elon's tweet, which included video of Apple's headquarters, as some kind of instrument of surrender. I have lately concluded that Andrew Torba has made a business decision not to give Elon Musk one mite of credit for improving a platform of which Gab Social is a direct competitor. In the interest of full disclosure, I do not have any kind of sponsorship contract with either man. Link in the description to the article, to the interview between Swisher and Yoel Roth, to the 3-tweet sequence from the Reuters article, to Musk's accusation, to 6 tweets covering other accusations against Roth, to Elon's tweet promising to release the Twitter files, to the Financial Times piece, to Musk assuring people that Apple will not disallow Twitter, to someone encouraging Elon to make his own smartphone. Anyway, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to ourcivilines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel, a link to my Twitter War playlist, and links to 1 or 2 videos from other influencers who have picked up on this election interference story. This is Terry A. Hurlbut, delivering another Declaration of Truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.